Every character, location, or experience you've read about in my crime fiction novels holds a piece of reality. I'm Helen Taylor. Welcome to the story behind my stories, the video podcast where crime fiction meets my authentic experience. Here, we delve into the real-life inspirations and intimate stories that shaped my novels. Discover how my everyday encounters, adventures, and travels translate into tales as gripping as they are genuine. The story behind my stories goes behind the words on the page to reveal the backstory that inspires my writing. Hit follow or subscribe and ensure you're part of this journey. Hi everybody! Today is the first Thursday since Leith Hill came out on Sunday, and I'm chuffed to bits with how well it's going and the feedback I've had so far. So, Leith Hill. This is the story behind Leith Hill. As you know, my titles tend to be a little bit of a play on the location and death, as it's usually a murder, and they also the images on the book cover are my own images, and I seem to have this trend going of a solitary thing that almost represents the location being against the landscape of the location. So tie-dye is a single chair and a single tree on the beach looking out, which I think I told you in season 1 was the view while I wrote tie-dye. Tie-dye is the only international thriller that I wrote while I was there. The others are from memory. Especially the next one I'm writing, because you couldn't possibly be writing that while you were there, which you'll understand when you get to that one. But then Connecting Trains is a single train track that leads off the page, and Lower Goodbye is a single Hawaiian lay in the sea as it's on a cruise ship. So going to Hawaii with crashing waves against the rocks. So Leith Hill, the book cover there, again, is a photo of my own, and it is the single solitary thing in that picture is Leith Hill Tower. So Leith Hill Tower stands on the top of Leith Hill, freakily. I did write a blog post about Leith Hill, and you can go and read that blog post on my website if you want to get a bit more, but I'll just pick out some pertinent points. It's Leith Hill is the highest point in southeast England, crowned by the 18th century Leith Hill Tower, built in 1765 by Richard Hull. Hull, a Bristol merchant, constructed the tower to raise the hill above 1,000 feet and offer sweeping views of the English countryside. Now, you can go up to the tower, and then you can go up in the tower. It's a really windy spiral staircase, stone, so it's worn, which can be a bit freaky. Last time I went up it was not long after my surgery, so and for those that don't follow along, I had ACL reconstruction surgery earlier this year. But then when you get to the top, you can look out over, and it really is the whole of southeast England. So there's a plaque on the top actually that points over there. You can see this, over there you can see this, over there you can see that. So you can see London if you're looking one way, and you can see down to Brighton if you're looking the other. And on a clear day you can see them. The last time I was up there, it wasn't a clear day. It was cloudy and rainy, drizzly, and there it was really eerie, which is what made me think, perfect place for a murder. Then when you look out, you're almost above the clouds, so as you look, you've just got a layer of mist below you, so it was really eerie. And that is that means that you can't see all of the things that you could normally. I mean, that time I went, you pay to go up the tower, which it's not a lot of steps to go up, but it is tight and like I say, spirally, and you can see a lot of it just from the top of the hill. But they don't charge when the weather's naff because you can't see anything when you get up there. So the tower, and it literally is just the tower, and then around one side is a little cafe inside there, and it's set lonely on top of the tower. Now, to walk up to the tower, you go through woods with brambles and bushes and trees and everything all around you, but then it's like you come through the foliage and you've just got the hill, the peak of the hill, and the tower on top. So it stands lonely on the top above everything else, and so that's the book cover. Why is it called Leith Hill? I think I mentioned that in the pre-launch one. Play on words, lethal is because somebody dies there, and because it's at a bike race, and it is the worst climb on the bike race, so it's lethal for your legs. So that was the name. As I say, the blog I wrote gives you some more history. Charles Dickens, wasn't it? It was somebody famous like that, who was it was Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin did some experiment. What did he do? Earthworm experiments on Leith Hill. So there you go. That is some of the history, but you can read more on the National Trust website, as it is a National Trust site, or a brief one in my blog. So Leith Hill is in an area of outstanding natural beauty in the UK, which is the Surrey Hills, and you sort of don't expect there to be a hilly area in so close to London, but the Surrey Hills is very hilly. You have Newlands Corner, which is very popular with bikes, both motorbikes and cyclists. And it has a cafe and restaurant at the top, and you can go off into the woods. So it's great for walkers and dog walkers. And actually, my daughter Lauren did her D.V. At Newlands Corner. So you go. It's hiking and dog walking is prolific up there. And then you've got Box Hill, which was made famous by bike races, Tour of Britain, things like that. And again, super popular with motorbikes and motorcyclists. And that's the other side of Dorking. And again, that's got cafes, seating area, car park, everything at the top of Box Hill too. Leith Hill is a little bit different. Leith Hill is a bit more secluded, and it doesn't lend itself. There's no cafe or anything at the top of the hill, so it doesn't lend itself in the same way to that popularity with cyclists and motorbikes to go up it. But it is a challenging bike ride. So there are cyclists that go up there, but it is a lot more on the hiking and the dog walking side of it. And there's Leith Hill Place, is not at the peak of Leith Hill, but is close by with beautiful gardens. But Leith Hill Tower stands solitary on the top of Leith Hill, and obviously, as I said, the tower isn't really that big, so the hill's big with the tower on top, so it is the hardest climb by bike. And one way to get to the tower is a very steep walk up, but there is a more undulating walk, and the walk around Leith Hill is like a big loop with Leith Hill on one end, and the car park that is featured in the book is Starville, which is sort of the opposite end of the circular path from Leith Hill, and that is where a lot of the book is set. But there are several car parks around, not the bottom of Leith Hill, but not the top of Leith Hill either, so sort of varying levels round. And the Surrey Hills in general, they really are absolutely stunning. They're beautiful, and they have been my training ground for several of the crazy experiences I've had in the UK and around the world. But that will come out more in this season. With this first episode, I wanted to cover off Leith Hill and the Surrey Hills. And the Surrey Hills, like I say, a lot more people have heard of Box Hill and some Newlands Corner. And I will tell you how I feel about each of those 3 hills when we talk about the cycling and the hills. But yes, so Leith Hill overlooks the whole of southeast England, and the tower is Gothic, and I don't know what it was originally there for. It used to be the tallest point in the whole of the south of England, but was pipped by something in the southwest. So that is where Leith Hill is set. It's set on Leith Hill, but it is set in the Surrey Hills. And I never remember whether it's an area of outstanding natural beauty or an area of outstanding national beauty, because it could be either. It is both in my book, and most of it is National Trust, which hopefully means it is protected and it will always be there, because it is a major part of the beauty that is that area of England, and I feel very lucky to live so close, and chose this for this book because of the cycle race, and because it's a beautiful place, which I am marring with a murder, but it's the murder's fiction, the place is real, and it's a place I've spent a lot of time in, which is, as always, the story behind my books. So I'm going to leave you there for this week, and if you haven't bought it yet, grab it and read this one. This is different to my previous books, and it is very close to my heart, but we will go into that in future episodes. Have a fantastic week, and I will catch you again next week, which will be the last episode before Christmas, and I'm going to take a break over Christmas and drop back in January. Alright, talk to you next week. Bye.